Hello and welcome to Pod Popper's Place. I'm Penny and today I am working with Kendra's Card Challenge number 17 and our super sponsor, Artful Angel. Today I'll be using stamps from the March release, Born to Plow, for sketch number 3, and then I will be using both the gardening and growing garden sets for completion of card sketch number 5. Rather than cutting all of the 6x6 sheets of paper, I wanted to use 2 different sets of paper pads to complete these cards. So I went ahead and just used the individual measurements on the card sketches and cut out my pieces of pattern paper ahead of time. I knew I wouldn't be able to use every stamp on the set, so I decided to just pull out some of my favorites that I thought would work together on a card, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp those. I'm just using some Nina cardstock that works well with Copic colors and using some Memento ink. This time I'm going to be using brown rather than the usual black because it is a garden theme and dirt is brown, so we may as well start with the brown. I have to admit the coloring seemed a little bit overwhelming to me because there is quite a bit of foliage in the picture and I didn't want the green to get all blended together and you wouldn't be able to differentiate between the individual pieces. So I started out with the tomatoes and was looking at it closely just to make sure I was getting all of the tomatoes colored red and not leaving any of those out. I also wanted to make sure that I colored the spinach in the little planter some different colors because spinach is actually quite red when you get it from a farmer rather than getting it from the grocery store. So I added some darker reds to the background veins of the spinach, at least that's what I think it is, to give it that more farm fresh look. I also was not 100% sure what the hanging vegetables behind the tomatoes were. I colored them as if they were eggplants, but please, if you are a gardener and you are aware of what those are and I am incorrect, I would be grateful to know what they actually are so I can color them correctly next time. I promise not to bore you with all of my coloring, so as I finish up this area here, let me tell you about Kendra's Card Challenge if you are new or unfamiliar with it. Kendra's Card Challenge is a quarterly challenge where you can create 15 unique cards using her free downloadable PDF guide. The guide will give you all of the cutting instructions, and the only thing you need to do is sign up for a free account with Patreon. There are also opportunities for you to win prizes if you would like to submit your cards. You may do so by taking one picture of all 15 cards together and submitting it under the appropriate InLinkz party link for the month. There are many opportunities to win prizes from some of our prize sponsors, and you can do so by entering your 15 cards, but you can also do so through monthly color challenges and sketch challenges as well. You can get details and all of the information by visiting kendrascardchallenges.com. And we would also love it if you share the sketches you create. So please join us over on Facebook with Kendra's Facebook group as well. This is a giveaway hop today, so please be sure to go to the description box and fill out the form so that you can have a chance to win an official membership to Kendra's Patreon group. And there are special perks and bonuses that go with that. Some of the perks included are access to 1 year's worth of previous challenges and also 1 year of bonus printables. I did use my brother's Scan and Cut to cut out the images today, and that does help me a lot with having to fussy cut. So I did that, and then I'm just going to put my card here together. This is the first card, and I added some ribbon to the 2 pieces where they connect because I just didn't like that line showing. So one of the ways I like to cover that up is with the ribbon. The difference is that the ribbon does sometimes push up a little bit on the sides, so I could have, to make it a little bit flatter, use some foam tape rather than just gluing it straight down, but I think it's not that big of a deal. I am going to play with this a little bit and see where I want everything to be glued down before I actually do any gluing, because there have been many times where I have glued something down and then wished I had not put it there, and by then it's just too late. Because the blue cardstock I had on hand didn't quite match what I had going on with my pattern paper, I decided to add a little bit of ink to this shade of blue just to make it a little bit darker and a little bit more of that gray blue so that it matched a little bit better before I went ahead and glued everything down. I do decide to pop up that center sentiment, and because I'm doing that, I'm also going to need to put some foam tape on top of the garden piece as well, because it is going to be hanging over the edge quite a bit. This sketch does call for a small object to be in the bottom right corner area, so I am using that cute little worm in the dirt there to be my little object in the corner. And I have to admit, this is the first time I think I have ever seen a worm in a stamp set, and I think it is super cute and super appropriate for this garden. And even though the sketch doesn't call for it, I also wanted to use those cute gardening gloves, and so I'm gluing those to the top left corner. And because they won't hang off that much, I'm not putting any foam tape behind those. And then I just add a few white details to some of the different areas on this. I am super uncomfortable adding white gel pen highlights, but I do like the way it looks. I just never know where to put them. So it's just super random for me. For card sketch number 3, I have everything cut out and ready to go. So I'm just going to glue everything together with all the different layers. And I also have this strip that goes at the bottom, and it does call for a layer, but I'm not going to be using a layer today. And there is also a banner in the top corner, and I completely forgot that because right here I am gluing down my centerpiece, and it actually should be over to the left a bit so that there is room for the banner on that top right corner. But I completely missed that, so we're just not going to include it, and that's perfectly okay because Kendra always tells us that these are jumping off points, so you can change these up how you need to so that they work for you. I am popping up the wagon so that I can tuck that roll of hay right behind it and have it kind of sitting up behind there, and it looks a little more dimensional. And then once again, I'm going in with my gel pen and adding some highlights wherever I want. Essentially. And right now I'm going to add, just from some scrap paper, I'm going to add some layers because this I do have several layers here, and it will kind of bend down if I don't add some other strips behind it. So I'm just using some scraps to build up a couple layers so that my little yellow strip there will lay more flat and not be pushed down on the sides. This is a great way to use some of those scraps of pieces that you don't really know what to do with, and it seems like I could probably dig scraps out of my garbage to do this most of the time. I am going to be showing you how to use your scraps to create cards with for Kendra's sketches tomorrow in my other Artful Angel video, so be sure to come back for that. I live in a farming community, so this roll with it set certainly hit home for me. And of course, I had to color it in green for John Deere because that is the favorite around here. I did go ahead and re-stamp my roll with it sentiments because I decided I did not want it in brown as I had stamped those before. And I'm just cutting off the edges before I go in with my round dies to cut that out. I decided that I did want to add a little bit of shine and a little bit of interest, even though this isn't a sparkly kind of card. And so I'm just putting down some packing tape, and I use my bone folder to burnish that down and make sure all the tape is down so that I get a nice shine and it's not dull looking. And then I'm just using the other die to cut that out. And so now I'm just going to have a little bit of shine behind my sentiment. Because the packing tape is a little bit more slippery than regular cardstock, I did use a double adhesive to stick that onto my black piece, and then I'm just popping it up with the sentiment so that it matches with the wagon. I hope you enjoyed this video today, and I hope you will go and hit the play all list and see everybody's video that is in the hop today. I would appreciate if you would consider subscribing and coming back again really soon. Tomorrow we will have another Artful Angels hop and show you some more wonderful products that they have available in their shop. Thank you for coming. Have a great day and see you again. Bye-bye.